sympathize and feel with people, kind of good at rejoicing with those who rejoice, but not maybe so much mourning with those who mourn. And so I thought, I'm not really a crier, but okay. Then I also had also heard this quote that said, give your kids a heart for the nations, and they'll never love the world. So I kind of got on this kick to find a mission trip for my kids to go on. I wanted my older sons, my sons to go on a mission trip. My oldest daughter had been to the Philippines a few times, and I want my kids to have a heart for the nations. And so this one day I was actually asking Pastor Nathan, do we have a trip coming up? I was just looking for an opportunity. And that night, it was in November of 2015, that night I got a message from a friend, and she was with a hosting organization, OHHC. And she texted and she said, hey, hosting is coming to an end. We have this one kid left. He's tall. I thought of you and your family because I have these really tall boys. And she's like, I just want you to consider. And I thought, like, I didn't really, it wasn't on my radar to have somebody from another country in my home, but it kind of hit me like, wow, that might be kind of like bringing a mission trip into your home. Instead of taking our family on a mission trip, just bringing kind of another world into our home, and that might work. But, I'm just honestly not the best housekeeper, not the best with hospitality. I had big kind of things going on in my life that made me think I was maybe too busy. And but we had one day to make a decision. So the Lord made it very clear that we should say yes. I won't go into all the details, but He very clearly confirmed it that we should say yes. And actually, I didn't want to. The whole time as we were preparing for hosting, I kind of hoped it would fall through. And I actually, the boy that we hosted was 16 and was not adoptable, but they felt strongly that he should have a family, like he should go to someone. And so but I was kind of glad he couldn't be adopted at the time, because I was just like, I wouldn't want to adopt anyway. So that's kind of where I was at. Adoption was never on my radar. Eastern Europe was not on my radar, and it's just kind of a sign that God can surprise you at any point in your life. You could be surprised, and He might call you to say yes to something that you never ever dreamed you would do. So we raised the money needed to host this kid, and as soon as the day came, December 18th, I think it was 17th or 18th, he came down that escalator at the Charlotte Douglas Airport, and kind of as soon as I saw that kid, it was like he just kind of got in my heart. And he became part of our home, hung out with my kids. It was a very busy time of my life. And it's actually when Jasper came out, and it was just 3 days later. And so it was just very, very full time. But he hung out with my kids. And about a week into it, it was the day after Christmas, is when the tears started. It was just something that hit me, the gravity hit me, that this kid had no parents. Like, this kid living in my house with my kids, just getting along with my boys great, he had no parents. And I had never really considered what that would be like. I was like, well, who's going to teach him right from wrong? Who's going to be there, and who's going to do all these things? And I remember the day after Christmas driving around with my husband doing errands all day, and I just cried all day long. And just, I feel like that was the beginning of the work that God was doing in me. And so at the end of our hosting experience, our family got really close, and it was just harder and harder. And when it came time for him to go back, it was like pretty traumatic for us. And it was very tearful at the airport with all my kids and me, and it was in that thing the Lord said to me about crying a lot. It happened. And so, but I feel like what the Lord was doing during that time, that whole year was hard. The first year, we hosted 3 times, but what it did is it gave us a heart for not only him, but wanted to find out about his country. So we decided, I felt like God wanted us to go visit Ukraine, and I felt like the Lord was like, just go and pray and build relationships. And so in September of 2016, after second hosting, my friend Wendy Toll, who you'll meet later, and I went to Ukraine, and we went to the orphanage, and we had built a relationship with the orphanage director, and she had been in America the summer before. Wendy helped to house her. We took her around, and so we had favor, and we ended up getting to stay at the orphanage, and we got a heart for Ukraine. And during that time, we not only did we meet, get to see our kids that she had hosted as well. But it gave us such a heart for all the kids there, and really the orphan crisis. When we found out these kids that we loved, what the statistics were that they faced. They face, as if you watched our What is GLOW video, there's a high prostitution rate, there's a high incarceration rate, there's a high suicide rate. The worst statistic is that the average life expectancy is 30 years old. And so when I heard that, it broke my heart. And so we were like, we have to do something, because everyone needs family. And so this was the beginning of our heart. It turned into doing it turned into me going on another trip, planning for a summer trip, a graduation project. We went to his graduation, we did a camp. And when we did that camp that first year, we did a camp for the younger kids and the older kids. And the younger kids, that's kind of my sweet spot, is the little kids. And we did a camp for all the kids that were not hosted. And we got to share the gospel. And with the older kids, we shared the gospel. We did a camp. We had 2 girls tell us it was the best week of their lives. That was very special. And it felt like God had just put every tool in Andrew and my tool chest, like everything we had done our whole lives, from drama to PE for Andrew, to the children's ministry, to all of our passions, all the things that we were good at. It felt like it was in a big tool. It was in our tool belt, and we got to use it and ministered to kids who never had anything like this before. And it was the most fulfilling thing ever, because I've done creative arts camps for 14 years for kids whose parents loved them and could pay for them to go to camp. But this was for someone who is kind of considered an outcast in society, and they soaked it up. And we came back from that camp, and Andrew will tell you his side of the story next, but from that camp, we just knew we had to do more. We had to keep going, and that's when GLOW was born. GLOW stands for, of course, Go Love Others Well. Our heart is to ignite people, ignite lives and launch destinies, and help people use their creative gifts and talents and resources and everything they have to love, basically fulfill the Great Commission through the greatest commandment, and equip people to do that, and then see the people that we love also in turn love as well. So more on that to come, but that's the beginnings of how GLOW happened, and I'm so glad it did. It changed our lives. We said yes. And it's been a faith journey ever since, and God has never failed us. Before our last trip, I remember being in our living room and looking at Andrew and having this moment. I was like, Andrew, God has paid for every trip we've gone on, 9 trips altogether. Like, He has provided different supernatural ways, and it's because He loves them so much. It's not because of us. It's not because we're so special. We just said yes, and He allowed us into His heart. God wants to invite us to share in more of His heart, all of us in different ways. So I'm just asking, I just feel prompted to ask you to ask God to invite you into His heart and share more of His heart with you, if that's something you want, and that's something you're ready for. If not, ask Him to prepare your heart to be ready for more of Him. He is looking for people. I feel that the Lord's looking for people on this earth who are willing to take their light, to be the light of the world, and to light someone else's life on fire. So I hope this day encourages you. So many of you are doing these things that I don't want to sound like you don't already, because I know many of my friends, I've got some on fire friends who are being the light of Jesus in so many ways. But he's always about kind of pushing us to do more and outside of our comfort zone. And we Americans like our comfort. But I'm telling you, there's such joy, there's such fulfillment in saying yes. So say yes, and who knows what will happen. Thanks so much.
All right, we are back live at the Holy Grind here in China Grove for our online day of giving with Glow Mission. And so excited for you guys to be here with us. In this segment, we'll do something different. Our guy behind the scenes, Mr. Jim Quick, he's going to come out and he's actually interviewed me. So I've been interviewing them. Now Mr. Jim, who's a professional interviewer, if you know this or not, but he actually won many awards, Pulitzer Surprise Awards.
You're getting delirious.
Yes, I am, because I've got latte here, I've got an iced coffee here, and then I finished this one off right here. That's hiding behind. That's my special stash in the Yeti of extra turbo juice of the coffee bean. Yes. So we're so excited to have you here. Remember, go to glowmission.org. That's where you can give, share, like, and great, man. Awesome. So Jim, he's got some riveting questions, things that you've wanted to know about Glow Mission. They're going to come out now because he's going to break me down like Barbara Walters. Okay, I'm going to start crying, and it's what he does. He does it so well. So, Mr. Jim, go ahead.
So thank you. And so we just heard a lot from Dar about her journey and how this summer camp just turned her heart to the kids of the Ukraine. And so, Andrew, my first question is, what exactly happened at that camp that made you want to turn your life upside down and go after teenage kids on the other side of the world?
Well, it's funny because, when we first got there, Dar had been there several times before I came. So she'd kind of already established a relationship with all these kids. And I knew Sasha because, of course, we hosted him. And so we were coming in really to meet his friends and just to kind of see what his life is like and to get to know all of them there. And so we had a time that we spent time with the little kids, and then we had time with his classmates, the older ones, and we did all kinds of fun games. We made it like a camp. So at first we broke them up into two teams, and they competed against each other. And so through those games stuff, we started to get to know them, and each night we would share devotion. I'd share a message with them every night. In the mornings we'd have a worship time, and we'd pray. And they were pretty standoffish at first. They were like, man, I don't know if this is going anywhere. The Ukrainian society is pretty guarded. I think communism did a lot of that, and then they're not very open. And like I said, when we first got to the orphanage, they'd keep their head down. They didn't want to look at you, talk to you. But they began to warm up. And the thing that was really awesome is they really warmed up to the gospel. And as I began to tell them about the Lord, they responded. So almost every one of our graduating class there, Sasha's class, most all of them gave their hearts to the Lord. And here's the thing that really got me. So we were spending time with the little kids, and we had made this video called The Greatest Story. It's a cartoon, and it just gives the gospel message. And so we showed that cartoon. We were spending, doing time with the little kids, doing all this creative stuff. And I think there was there's 30 some of these little kids. And I probably got that wrong, Dar, I'll probably get it right. But there seemed like a bunch of kids. And so we're spending time doing all this creative stuff. Then we show them The Greatest Story. And we show them The Greatest Story, and Dar begins to explain just the gospel message right afterwards. And she asks, how many of you guys want to give your heart to the Lord? Every single kid put their hand up. And I was like, oh, man, it got me, man. I was like, this soil is so rich. It's so rich. And even seeing I think there was only a few kids in that initial first camp that gave their heart to the Lord. But all of them eventually did, which is incredible. I mean, you have that kind of success going somewhere, sharing the gospel, it just stirs you. But then, as you got to know them, that whole thing that Dar talked about, you're starting to see them like, okay, when these kids get out, who's going to be parents to them? Who's going to take care of them? Who's going to watch after them and call them and write to them and find out if they're doing okay and come to see them? And so we've just been a consistent in their life, that they know that we're going to come, 2 to 3 times a year, we're going to come see them. And so they know we're part of their life. And so now they call us Mama Dar and Papa Andrew.
That's awesome.
So anyway,
And for those who have just turning in and listening for the first time, when we talk about grads, that means they have left the orphanage. So usually it's 16, 17 years old. Sometimes it's younger than that, where they are leaving the orphanage for the first time. They're turned out and they have no family, they have no resources, they have no one. And so when we say grad, that's because they've graduated from the orphanage and we are adopting them and helping them in this journey. So for those that have not ever been on the mission field, or for those that have been watching this video, we've had a lot of people from the Ukraine talking today. Some here, some over in the Ukraine, and they've been, speaking Russian. And so how is it that you can be a missionary in the mission field and not actually know how to speak, in this case, Russian?
I speak Russian very well. I'm just kidding. I know very little Russian. I actually learn enough to tell those people to be endearing. Like so each time I come back, I learn a few more words, a few more phrases, and it's important to to want to understand someone's language that you care about. And so I've tried to do that, but we have interpreters. We've made relationships with different interpreters who've become a part of our team. Right now, Joanna and Oleg. Oleg doesn't speak. He speaks some English, but Joanna, she helps translate for us. Of course, Tanya helps over here. There's another Tanya there that helps us, and so yeah, we have to lean pretty heavily on translators. Which I don't know if you've ever spoke to people with a translator. It's pretty difficult. Dara, she kind of likes it, but to me, I like, I just get in the flow of something, or if I'm giving a message, you kind of get in the flow of something. Well, you always have to, say about, 5 or 6 words or your phrase, and then you've got to stop and let them. So it's something definitely to get used to.
And so just tell me a little bit about what is the Lord doing in your heart that makes you and Dar want to travel to the other side of the world, give up all your comforts here in China Grove and Kannapolis and the Charlotte area, to give all this up several times a year to go over there to minister to these youth. What is the Lord doing in your heart?
Man, he has definitely changed me in so many ways, because you even when you have kids and stuff, there's still a selfishness in you. There's things that you want to accomplish, want to do. And there's things I do selfishly. There are, but those kind of change. That as we've actually taken on more kids. We have our 4 naturally born kids. Then we have Sasha, who we added to our family, and then all these other kids have come along in our family. So now all of a sudden we see our family has grown. Our heart has expanded to more kids, and so and as you're seeing them struggle through life issues, the things that they walk through that are tough, that you get to be a part of, that you get to help them with, and then the celebrations of the things that are amazing that happen to them. Like, we talk about Diana. She what she's done going to YWAM and giving back and being discipled under such a great ministry. You're seeing these successes. You're seeing some of the failures and the things that we've stumbled through life. Well, sometimes they stumble too, and just to be there and to say, hey, look, man, we're not leaving you just because you messed up. We're here. We're not going to stop loving you. We've actually, our boy Sasha has been, he hasn't been easy, but what kid is easy? And so we've had to reassure, I've reassured him, so look, man, I love you. You may have, not done things right here, but man, I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I'm your dad, and you need to realize that. If you mess up or something, I'm not leaving you. Now, of course, I want you to do better, and I want you to, start thinking more like an adult in so many ways, just like we do, with our natural kids. So my heart is expanded, and so you become not just a father to your natural kids, but you become a father to the fatherless, and all these kids that that we see who need a mom and a dad. And so that's probably the biggest takeaway. And it kind of changes your goals in life, and the things that you thought were important don't seem as important anymore because there's kids out there that really need your help.
So there you have it. No matter whether you're on the other side of the world or here in America, spending time with people, relationships, are really the key to ministry, and that's what Glow Mission does so well. And that's what we're asking you to help us with during this day of giving, is to be able to give because these things, translators, travel, meeting the needs of these grads over in Ukraine, none of that comes free to us. And so we're asking if you'll partner with us on this day of giving. And we're going to be now showing you a video with some of these camps that Dar and Andrew have been talking about during this segment. And so we just ask that you would watch this and consider being a monthly giver, giving a one-time gift to Glow on this day of giving. And we just so appreciate anything that you can give. And during this hour, $10 becomes $20, $50 becomes $100, $100 becomes $200, $1,000 is $2,000 because of the sponsorships that we have this hour. So thank you so much for your gifts. And now we're just going to turn it over to the video.
This is.
Hey guys, I'm here with Ann, and she's with a cleaning solution, and she is one of our sponsors for the Day of Giving. And so we are so excited to learn about her business, and I want to tell you why she has decided to sponsor Glow and why she believes in Glow. So I'll let her talk, and she's going to tell you about Glow, how she feels, and she's also going to tell you about her business and how you can help her succeed in her business.
Hi folks. Well, first off, I'll tell you a little about my business. My name is Ann Pig. I've been in this area for most of my life. I've been in the cleaning business this is our 31st year, and so far so good. So you can give us a call if you're interested in our services. Will you have the information?
Yeah, we'll do a link and her telephone number. It is a cleaning solution. I'll go ahead and tell you, but it's 704-564-0781, and we'll have some more information. So thank you. Thank you for telling us about your business.
Yeah, we'd love to help you with any of your cleaning needs. We do residential, commercial, we do window cleaning, carpet cleaning, holiday event cleaning, any type of cleaning that you need done. But the real reason I'm here is to talk about Glow and to let you know that it's just a beautiful, beautiful ministry. I've watched Wendy and Dar in their passion for the orphans and for the children of Ukraine, and I've spent some time in Ukraine myself, and I see the need. The last time I was there, I was speaking with a kid, Sasha, and he was telling me how when he aged out of the system, the orphanage, and it was time to go, that they gave him a stack of papers, and he walks out of the place with a stack of papers that he had no idea what to do with those papers. So, I know. So there is such a need for mentorship once those kids hit the streets, and I mean literally hit the streets. We would appreciate any donation that you can give, or any ongoing support that you can give Glow. It's a wonderful ministry, and it's helping so many lives. Thank you.
So thank you, Ann, for taking your time. And yes, she's been in business a little over 30 years, and this is my mom, but I have personally seen her work in my house and in many other houses, and she is the white glove cleaner. Yeah. If she's not done right, she will have it done right. So let me just tell you.
Right on.
So anyway, I'd love for you to give my mama a call, and so thank you, and thank you for your support.